Okay, so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna do a kind of multifaceted technique to work out tightness and maybe neural tension if you're having some sciatic symptoms, or if you tend to when you stretch like your hamstrings. We're gonna get the hamstring as it attaches to the sit bone, as well as on the side here, a muscle called the quadratus femoris, along with some of those other deep rotators in the lateral and posterior hip there, deep in there, to free up the hip and also to get a little traction to open up, say, like the low back and that quadratus lumboris here versus the quadratus femoris down here. So I'm going to use hip rotation. I'm going to use flexion extension of the hip and knee. I'm going to use a flossing technique with the toes and the nose, kind of both going up, both going down. So if you can't hear me very well, hopefully that kind of gives some context to what I'm going to be demonstrating here. So I'm going to come around, and this can be done on the stairs or on a step stool if you have something sturdy to hold on to. So here I am back here. I've got my heel up on the step, as you can see here, and I can kind of rotate, roll from side to side, and rotate from my hip up here. So what I can do is I can take my hand and my thumb along the groin line and my fingers along the femur, and I can actually sink in and compress as I flex and drive back and down to get some stretch and traction in the hip, along with the stretch of the hamstring, and then also opening up my low back up here, so I can free up a lot of things in those areas. But as I rotate, right, I can kind of press down and open up here, and more of a externally rotated hip, a neutral hip, or even an internally rotated hip. And I'll feel that tension differently because we have hamstrings on the inside and the outside, and they'll tension those differently, as well as some of the other muscles in the hip, the rotators around that. So I can kind of mix and match. I can go nose and toes with a straighter knee, nose and toes up to give slack and tension up through the bottom, and then go down with the nose and toes to tension up through the spine, that way to floss my sciatic. And I can mix and match with, I can do a little rocking in and out. I can combine knee flexion with hip there, here, here, or the straighter one here, straighter one there. So there's a lot of mixing and matching combinations we can do to kind of work out some of that tightness, tension in the hamstring, the deep rotators, as well as the sciatic nerve, to free up a lot of things there in that hall. To free, and that does feel better for me right now because I just loosened all that up. And of course, you're going to want to do that on both legs as well, just to at least compare and contrast. Okay, good.